My life was a complete mess, so I was abused at a young age, which led me to resent all men, and I never really knew who my mother was, so I had no one to confide in. And while I was in foster care, I was introduced to drugs, I was introduced to weed, smoking, partying and all of that. After a while, when my father came back and I went back into his care, I just completely hated him, and which led me to become depressed because I had so many complexes. I hated the way I looked, I hated my shape, I hated everything about me. I started self-harming at the age of 13, where I would cut myself in different places, and I just became more and more depressed. And then one day I started seeing shadows and I couldn't sleep at night. And this shadow would always come to me and it would start abusing me, just like how I got abused when I was younger. I would wake up with scratches and bruises all over my body and I didn't know what was going on. So I was agnostic, and one of my friends decided to invite me to the church, and he said I had nothing to lose. I don't know if there was a God, so I might as well come and check it out. I came to the church and I started seeing how everyone was happy, how people used to be similar to me, who they were all depressed, and there was other girls who used to sleep around, but they don't do that anymore. And I was confused. I didn't know how they were able to overcome it. I heard other people's testimonies, other people how they overcome situation. So when the campaign came around, from day one, I was serious. They said it's not just about sacrificing your money, but it's about sacrificing your life, sacrificing all the old pain. So I had to forgive my abuser. I had to forgive all the boys who abused me while I was in relationships. I had to forgive my parents, and after forgiving them, I started attending the church more and more. I would go to the Friday services, the Wednesdays and the Sunday morning services. And after that, I didn't have no desires to self-harm anymore. I didn't have no desires to sleep around anymore. And from that change, I was able to become more bold. Me and my dad, we have a very good relationship now. I don't always see my mum, but when I do see her, we both have a really good relationship. I'm truly happy. I'm no longer depressed. I always laugh and I always smile, and I just enjoy everyone. When I see the people who abused me, I can casually go up to them and speak to them and say, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm just a really happy person now.
Hello, a very, very good evening. Welcome to Finding Answers, and welcome to Monday. That's right, it's Monday, and it's great. Well, we're at the end of Monday, right? It's almost Tuesday, but it's great to be here with you. And you know, I love Mondays. I love Mondays because every Monday is a chance to do this. I mean, you know, I have this page here. I don't want to mess up the white balance of the camera, but every Monday is a chance to take whatever happened the previous week and do this and just get rid of it, right? And you can start all over again. That's the beauty of Mondays. And I know many people don't like Mondays because they have to go back to work and, you know, they have to face their problems all over again. I remember before I found God, before I found my faith, Saturdays and Sundays were my favorite days because I could hide away from my problems, from the world. But when you learn to use your faith, you embrace challenges. You embrace them because you can have an opportunity there to change your life. You just saw there a minute ago a testimony and someone standing in front of the Temple of Solomon that will be inaugurated in a few weeks. That's right, in just a few weeks in Brazil. And you might remember last week I showed you here a picture of the Temple of Solomon, and I'm going to tell you why today, as I promised. Now, the question that we're posing to you tonight is, what would happen to this world? How would the world be if everyone were the same? I will introduce you later today to someone who's here with me, and she says that before she found her faith, before she found the power of God, before she learned the power that faith has to change one's life, she was trying to adapt, to be everyone because of different problems. She was trying to be different people, doing different things that weren't really helping her, and because of that, her life started to go downhill. So maybe her story is going to not only relate to yours, but it can also change your life. It can encourage you. Her story, if her life changed, maybe yours can change as well. I have here with me, as usual, Esther. How are you, Esther? Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Do you like Mondays?
I don't mind. I think it's, I don't know. I think it's psychological, this whole Monday syndrome thing.
Right. But it's not something that excites you, Mondays.
No, it depends what you do on the weekend. Well, I was just sunbathing, so I'm pretty
Okay.
chill today, yeah.
Good. So, I mean, I know that we were talking about how would the world be if everyone were the same.
Yeah.
And that's never going to happen because we're never going to be the same. But there are people that do try to be more like someone else that they admire, a movie star, a friend, a relative. And we end up being someone we're not. And that can cause other problems as well.
Yeah, definitely, Pastor. We've discussed it in our previous programs about envy or people wanting to be somebody else, seeing somebody else's life and feeling like you're lacking in your own. So today we're discussing uniqueness and how important every single person is and the reason why we're so unique and also the benefits it brings. Because you're right, it would be pretty boring if there was loads of Esthers or loads of Patricias or loads of Jameses. So.
Exactly, and loads of Patricias. That Patricia is our guest here, who you will meet in just a few moments. I want you to have a look at this video and we're going to be right back.
Being unique, understanding how each of us is unique, is an essential part of questioning who we are and why humanity exists. So, you are you. Nobody else can be you. You are absolutely unique. Believe it or not, every person is different from the other in one way or another. Knowing what makes you special can help you harness your uniqueness into something productive. It may help you in earning popularity and allowing people to identify themselves with you. So, what are the things that make you special? Here is a countdown of those things that make you different from everybody else. 10. Your beliefs and culture. What do you believe about this world? What do you think of the tiniest and the hugest of things on earth? How much are you drawn towards the mysteries of life? Different people may answer these questions in different ways. Your aspirations and goals. Almost every person on earth has a goal or a vision, or at least a hope to achieve something. Their dreams may be big or small, for themselves or for someone they love, but their dreams do exist. You too might be cultivating an ambition within. Number 8, your relationships. So, your relationships speak a lot about you. You will be known for how you behave with others, especially of the opposite sex. 7. Your habits or hobbies. Your interests are reflected in the habits you build or the hobbies you cultivate, and such unique interests may make you special. You can be a person known for your fashion statements, or you can be a person known to have large numbers of pets. Whichever it is, each one can make you individual.
That's right, and you don't have to be someone else for you to be happy. You don't have to live someone else's life for you to be happy. You are you, and maybe part of the problems that you've had, that you've gone through, is because you try to be more like someone, or someone tries to change you, and you try to be like that person wants you to be, and that makes you unhappy. How many people are in relationships, and they loved, we can say, that person they were with, but they suffered abuse. What is abuse? Abuse is someone who wants to impose on you their will, the way that they think, or sometimes even forcefully doing that physically, and you submitting yourself to this, becoming like this person wants you to be. Actually, it can break you. How many people, they are broken, completely broken, because they want or they tried to be like someone else. I don't know if you have heard of stories like this, Esther, but if a person wants to be too much like someone, or they forcefully try to change to please other people, they end up losing their identity. They are broken as people because they are no longer who they used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Uniqueness, it can make you interesting and it can make you wonderful and beautiful, but uniqueness can also make you strong in ways that other people might not have. Some people are unique in their bravery, some people are unique in other ways. So yeah, exactly. You don't want to lose your identity at your own cost for somebody else, definitely. Yeah.
And the positive, for example, there is a positive of you looking at other people and taking on or learning from their qualities. I mean, I have a friend of mine who he's perfectionist, but perfectionist to the extreme, too perfectionist. But I try to learn from him, from these traits that he has, and it's a good thing. But I don't try to be him or to be like him because, I'm me. I will always be me. But if you can learn from people who are around you, that can be a good thing, right?
Yeah, he probably takes some stuff from you as well.
I hope so.
People give and take, don't they?
I hope so. Now, I just want to say that over the next, 50 minutes, while we'll be here on this program, if you want to contact us, if you feel that you've been through abuse, you've been through a tough time because someone tried to change you, tried to make you someone you're not, and you feel hurt, you feel broken. Actually, your story might be similar to the person who is here with me tonight, and you'll hear her story a little bit later. Then you can contact me here during this program. You that perhaps you're crying right now. I spoke to someone today, actually last week in the program, we were saying about the fact we may be more alone than ever. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these kind of things, and people are more alone now than ever. And someone was telling me today, Pastor James, I have all these people that I speak to, and I feel alone. I cry because I'm alone. A young man, young, I think 20-something, very, very young, and feeling alone. Perhaps you're like this. You feel alone because you try to be like others, but when the push comes to shove and you want someone to help you, you have no one. So you can contact us here and speak to someone right now. We are not counselors for people who are going through abuse, but what we can do is we can pray for you. We can tell you that things can change, that things can get better, okay? Now, we're going to leave there on the screen the telephone number and the email address. If you want to contact us here, actually someone wrote to us recently, and Esther's going to read their email just now before we go to the break. If you want to contact us about any problem you're going through, you want to speak to someone, maybe you want to speak to us live on air, we'll be here, we'll be taking your calls if you want. If you want to speak to someone in the background, our team, who are ready to speak to you, you can do that as well. The email address is help@findinganswers.tv, help@findinganswers.tv, or give us a call to 020-7686-6300. Can you read the email, Esther?
Yeah, that's right. We've got an email from Gordon Lewis, and Gordon has an inquiry. He says, "Hi to everybody at Finding Answers. I've been watching Finding Answers every night for the last few months or so. I really enjoy watching your UCKG program. Your TV program always gives me inspiration and encouragement. So when I checked out to see if there was a UCKG church in Liverpool, I was surprised to discover that there is no UCKG church in Liverpool. I think Manchester is the nearest church to me, but it's too far for me to go as I don't have private transport. So, Pastor, can you suggest what I should do? Because I really want to attend your church. Thanks very much, Gordon Lewis."
Well, Gordon, first of all, thank you for watching the program. It's great to know that we have people who appreciate what we do here and who are helped by what we do. Now, we try to go everywhere. We try to establish a church everywhere that is possible. And the church has grown in the past few years. We still need to grow a lot more. At the moment, we do not have a center yet in Liverpool, but you are part of our mailing list, our prayer list. And as soon as we do have something, we will let you know. However, stay tuned, because after the break, and by the way, I know I sent you a picture. I hope you got the picture that we sent to you last week. I'm going to tell you after the break what you're going to do with this picture that I have here in my hands. We gave it to you, or we said that if you needed one, if you didn't have, we would post it to you last week. Some of you have received this in our churches, and I'm going to tell you after the break what to do with it. So don't go anywhere. Gordon and you who have this picture, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to tell you what to do right after the break.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Mondays, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesdays, prayers for healing. Wednesdays, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursdays, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturdays, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sundays, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
Let me tell you very briefly then what we're going to do with this picture. On the 13th of July, everywhere here in the UK, in all our churches, we will be collecting people's vision. What do I mean by that? Remember we said to you that this picture represents or represented the vision of a man and is now a reality. This is now a real building. On the back of this picture, if that camera can stay on the picture for now, it's too white, isn't it? So if you can come back to me. On the back of this picture, we are inviting people to stick a picture of their own vision. For example, maybe you imagine a happy family. So you're going to put there a picture of a happy family. Maybe you don't have a happy family, but you want that. Maybe you want a stable marriage. At the moment you don't have a stable marriage, but you're going to put a picture there at the back of the picture of the Temple of Solomon. On the 13th of July, we are going to be collecting that dream, that vision that you have, and you are going to be presenting that at the church together with your sacrifice. And we are talking about this in the church, in the services. And you that want to have an opportunity there to change your life. Because just like this vision of the temple came true, the vision that you have for your life can also come true. Now, I've already spoken too much at the beginning of this program. I want to introduce you now to the person whose program is really about. This program is not about us. It's about the guests that come here and tell us about how their lives have changed. I want to introduce you to Patricia, who's here with me tonight. How are you, Patricia?
Hi, I'm okay.
You're okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the program. Now, Patricia, I know that you had a very troubled past.
Yes, I
right?
did.
You went through a lot of problems. Tell me how your problem started.
Well, for me, it all started when my family moved from Africa, where we were living, to come to Europe, of course. And at 6, I was 6 at that time, when my dad, my mom, everybody, all my siblings left, and for some reason, I don't really know exactly why, I had to stay by myself, and I had to stay with relatives. And so they left, and when I stayed with my relatives, because of all the misunderstanding within the families, I started to be abused. Like, I would just get beaten or hit for any little thing that I would do, and I didn't really understand why. So it's, you know, I started to miss my family. I started to miss my mom, my dad.
You were 6 years old at that time.
I was 6, but I stayed with my family until I was like about 10. So
when you say you were beaten, right? How bad was it? What would happen exactly?
I mean, they would just get, if it's a stick that they would get, they would hit me with a stick. If whatever they have in their hand, you know, they would just throw it at me. They didn't really care if I was a child or not. I mean, it got so bad, even though I was young, I got so angry that I wanted to run away. And when I did try to run away, I got dragged back so hard by one of my relatives, and I got beaten even worse that day.
You were beaten when you were there, you were beaten if you tried to run away, right?
Yeah, because it got too much.
So and that went on for how long? How long did you stay in that situation?
I stayed with that particular relative for about 3 years. Yeah, for about 3 years, and then because that was on my dad's side, and then my mom's side knew about what was happening, so they wanted to help me. So they took me away, and I went. I went with my mom's family, and then I stayed for about a year, and then hopefully by then things had gone well for me to join my family now, to come to Europe. And I was really excited because I was like, okay, now I'm gonna have a real family. Now it's gonna be like me and my mom, you know, like how I was when I was young, and you know, she's gonna take care of me. We're gonna be happy. And I was really excited, and I was really looking forward to it. So when I did come in, I did arrive here, things were good at first. You know, everyone was excited. I met my siblings. We hadn't seen each other for about 5 years, so it was good.
So you were away from your family for 5 years?
For about 5 years.
Now, during all those 5 years, were you being beaten throughout the 5 years?
Not throughout all the 5 years, only when I was with my my dad's side of the family, which they completely hate. Our families.
So you came here, your expectation was to, now you were together with your family, you were really happy and excited about that.
Really excited.
And how did that go?
Yeah, so it was good at first, you know, the excitement, everybody's, it's like we were getting to know each other again for the first time, so it was nice. Until, because me and my older brother didn't really get along, we we would always argue over every little thing. And one day we had a really, really massive argument, and whatever was said, so everyone turned against me. Well, everyone was, because I'm the youngest in African tradition, you know, the younger one just has to be quiet. You can't really, you can't go against the person that's older than you. So everyone started telling me off. And for me, because growing up, even though I was brought up in an African background, I was always very outspoken. Like if I need to say something, I wouldn't really care if you're older than me or not. And that's something that my family did not like about me. They liked that I was bold and everything, but they didn't like the fact that I could challenge them sometimes, even though I was young. So, so when my brother, you know, would get, you know, he would try to tell me off or anything, I wouldn't really accept it. And then my mom, it started then, where I think he said something that my family started saying a lot of things about me, and I totally disagreed with it, and the argument started then. It's like it went on from us being happy or jolly to argument after argument, or people saying, "Oh, Patricia, you need to stop this," and I'll be like, "No, but it's not my fault." Da, 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 da.
But do you think that you the way that you were contributed to these problems as well?
Yes, I mean, part of it, I would agree, because of how I probably came across. I think at that time I didn't know that because I was still young. I mean, this happened, it started when I was 11. I mean, for me it was just like, I have a mind of my own. That's all I always used to say. And but to them it was like, you're young, you just have to be quiet. So part of the fact that I was bored probably did contribute, but a lot of things also, I believe that I was really young, and I felt like maybe there should have been a lot more understanding.
Because you were a child,
yeah.
Right? At 11 years old, you were a child. Plus, you had gone through those difficult times back home.
Exactly.
And things in your family started to become tense.
Yeah,
right?
it did.
How did it get worse from there?
It got worse because it's like my relationship with my mom wasn't so great anymore because of all the challenging me challenging her. She felt like I was challenging her. We didn't get along anymore. It's just we'll have argument after argument after argument. It's like every little thing that will happen, we'll just be arguing all the time. And I remember at 12, I got sexually abused by one of our family member, and at first, I was really, I didn't know if I could even speak about it. It's like I couldn't register that in my mind at first. It was really difficult for me to understand what was happening to me because this was somebody that I really, really trusted. And, but afterwards, because I think my personality, maybe for other young children, they'll probably keep quiet, but because of the way I was like, no, this is not right. I need to say something.
Because most people, when they go through sexual abuse, they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because they usually they say that they felt guilty, which they shouldn't because they didn't do anything wrong. But you did the opposite. You spoke about it, which is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? You sought help. How did that go? Was that accepted? Did people try to help you?
The hard thing was, before I went to speak about it, I thought they'll probably think I'm lying because everybody thinks I'm the bad one here in the family, which they've said. So I thought they'll think I'm lying, but I was like, no, I'm gonna say, at least if I say it, someone will know. So I did speak out, and then when I did, it was like, my mom was really disappointed in the person. She really was. She was really upset, but because it was someone that we were really, really close to, they didn't really know how to go about ending it. But for me, what I didn't like is the fact that, okay, so I've spoken about this, is anyone gonna help me? But I didn't really get the help that I needed. It's like things just kind of moved on. It was like, okay, so stop doing, they went to the person, obviously, stop doing this, stop what you're doing, we know what you're doing because she's told us now. And that's really,
it was left.
That was it. And I was just there and left with this, and I didn't really know what to do from there.
So the thing is, you went through a part in your life where at 6 years old you were being beaten. Then you came here with expectations in your family, and it didn't pan out exactly like you thought it would. And then at 12 years old you were sexually abused.
Yeah.
Right? what was going through your mind? Did you think that people weren't understanding you, they didn't know what you were going through, that they couldn't help you? What did you feel?
I just felt like everyone hated me. I felt like, I did feel like nobody understood me, because for me, myself, it's like I couldn't even understand a lot of things of why things were happening that way. So much so that I would even say to my cousins and stuff like that, I think I'm cursed. I think I'm cursed. Bad things keeps happening
But
to me.
you were a child.
Yeah.
Right? The children are not cursed, right? Actually, the Bible says that Jesus said, let the little children come to me because the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. You could be cursed. You were a child, right? And actually, whoever says that children are cursed are completely wrong. So, but you felt like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt, because it's like after one thing, something else would happen to me.
So how were you inside? I mean, after all this happening to you, what did you start to build up inside of you?
Inside of me, I built up a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger, because I was like, I didn't ask. First of all, I didn't ask to be left in Africa. Mm-hmm. Why was I left there?
You were the only one left there?
Yeah, I was the only one that was left. I was like, why was I left there? And why did that happen to me? And I come here, it's like nobody listens to what I want to say. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I would even try to explain to my mom. It's like I would try to explain to my family. Maybe if you just listen to something that, the things that I'm saying, maybe you would understand. But then it's like, you don't have it's always like you don't have a say. Mm-hmm. That made me really angry.
Right, so it's like you're trying to put these things out and it's like a pressure cooker, right? It starts to build up inside of you.
Exactly, it was just like that, everything was just building up. So it came to a point where I started thinking, is there even a point of explaining you guys what's going on inside of me? Because every time I try, it's like you bring up another issue, or you bring up the culture, and I was just like, oh, well, I don't care about the culture. So I started building a lot of anger, and I think for me, what I did as well is I held my mom responsible for the sexual abuse as well. Mm-hmm. Even though it wasn't her, and it wasn't her fault that happened, and she was really upset, but I believe I held it against her, because I felt like, you're supposed to protect me. Doesn't matter if I'm bad, doesn't matter if, you think I'm naughty or whatever, but it's like someone should be there to protect me. Mm-hmm. So
when you started feeling this angry and you grew up with this anger inside of you, how did it progress from there? I would just go out, like I didn't want to be at home anymore. Mm-hmm. I just started finding reasons to just be outside, to do many things that I could do, just to distract myself. And as I was growing up, I started going out partying all the time, like with my cousins, with my friends, just going out, doing crazy things. I mean, for me, I would just stay out the whole night if I have to come back, leave on Friday, maybe come back on Sunday or Monday or something like that. And I didn't really care. How old were you at that time?
I started when I was about 16.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to take a break now, but I wanted to stop there. I know there's other things you need to tell us, and you'll tell us after the break, but I wanted to stop there because there's a lot of people who have the same feelings bottled up inside of them. And like you said, maybe you feel like you talk to people, you explain to them what you're going through, and nobody listens to you. And maybe people do, but then the thing is, there are situations that people can't do anything about. I mean, in your situation, a lot of things could have been done to try to help you that perhaps weren't done, right? But sometimes, I mean, there are things you tell people about your life, the problems you're going through, that they can't really help you. They can say, look, I hope it gets better. But then you feel unheard. You feel like people don't understand you because no one can help you. So you start feeling worse, you start feeling more angry, and then you don't know what to do. And because you're frustrated, you end up doing things that then you regret, which was your case, which you're gonna tell us about in just a few moments. And am I right in thinking that you started suffering with depression afterwards as well?
Yes, I did. It all led down to that depression.
Okay,
yeah.
You're gonna tell us about that as well. If you feel that no one is listening to you, if you feel that no one understands you right now, if you feel like, sometimes you have a lot of people around you, but you feel alone because you speak, but nobody listens. They hear you, but they don't listen to you. I want you to know that there is someone right now ready to listen to you. If you give us a call, you can speak to a person who's here, ready to listen to whatever problems you're going through and to advise you how to change your life in the same way that Patricia did. We're going to go into a break. When we come back, we'll be listening to the rest of her story and what the people of London have to say about this. Don't go anywhere.
In life, there are problems that just hit you with a blow. Everything crumbles away and the heartache never seems to disappear. Everything keeps going wrong. You are in despair. What do you do when your hope isn't enough? When your single prayer seems to return unanswered and the persistent problem is still there? Partner with God and make a chain of prayer. A Chain of Prayer is a weekly series of uninterrupted prayer and action to tackle the most stubborn of problems. Make the chain of prayer and turn things around once and for all. Don't give up. Make a chain of prayer. It works.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
Welcome back. So I have Patricia here with me. She's been telling us a story. Patricia, at what point did you feel that you were starting to struggle with depression?
I think when I had enough of what was going on, because after that, going out with my friends and everything like that, I actually ended up getting into a relationship with someone. And because I was always one of those people who had, like, how can I put it, goals in my life. Like, I was going out, but I always kind of respected myself. I always wanted I always wanted people to know that, you know, I'm not just here to mess about. I have a future and stuff like that. So I would go out and think carefully about the things that I would do. So when I got into this relationship, I did end up telling the person, look, if you're looking for, you know, someone to just go in and then go out and, you know, mess around with, I'm not the person. Just go and find that person. But if you're serious, then, you know, then yeah, we can be together and stuff. And it was like, yes, at the time. 6 months down the line, I found out that I was actually pregnant.
Right. When you found out you're pregnant, this person who told you they were serious, did they stick around?
Yes, they did actually.
They did? Wow.
Surprisingly.
That's a, I wouldn't say a first, but that doesn't happen very often, right? So, but how did you feel at that time? Because you were 16.
Yes, oh my goodness, that was for me, it was so hard. I think, I don't even know how to describe it with words, because it was really, really difficult for me, because I had set such a goal in my mind. In fact, I used to look at the statistic and see girls, this happening to girls. I used to say, this will never be me, man. I would never make such a mistake. I'm not stupid like this. Like, you know, so when it happened to me, I was like, oh, I thought about what I used to say, and I was like, no, this can't be me. I felt so low. I felt so, like, it was as though my future just ended at that point because of that one mistake that, you know, I made. I just said, oh, forget it. And I really, at that point, I just even wanted to just kill myself, because I was just like, now my family, they're gonna look at me and think, yeah, exactly. We always thought you was a failure.
It's like you were proving them right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Right.
Everyone's gonna say you proved us right.
Okay. While you were telling your story, Esther wanted to ask you a question. What did you want to say, Esther?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Patricia, about how it affected your relationships with men, but you've just told us that. But I did want to say something else. What age are you?
Right now, I'm 26.
Now, you're 26. Okay, because you've had a lot of pain in the earlier part of your life. Beaten at 6, sexually abused at 11 or 12.
12, yeah.
And then pregnant at 16.
Yes.
Okay, you've come a long way. Well done. That's good.
So, I mean, when you started struggling with depression, is that the point that you were invited to come to the church?
Yes. Yes,
how, I mean, who invited you, and how did that help you? Because a lot of people think if you have depression, you take some pills, you take some tablets, and that helps you to suppress the problem. But what did you do? What happened?
Well, for me, no, it wasn't. I was just feeling really low, and it was my mom actually that invited me, because she could see that, you know, the way I was going, you know, I wasn't getting anywhere.
You were in a self-destructive mode.
Yes.
And, you know, I just want to say, I understand that a lot of people will say, oh, but there was a reason for her being like that, because she was abused, like Esther made a point now and so on, and I know that. But still, it wasn't helping you. I want people to understand that I understand you, but still, it didn't solve any of your problems the way that you were behaving, right?
No, it didn't. I mean, all that was happening was just making everything worse for me. You know, I would just try to do things to kind of make me forget what was going on inside of me. Like, the anger against my mom, against my whole family was there. The grudges were still there. So dealing with all that inside, I was just trying to find things to kind of make me forget or even get rid of it. But, you know, I was just digging a hole and just kind of...
So coming to church, how did that change your life?
Well, I came and there was like a pastor there who I spoke to as well, and who started telling me, you know, giving me advice on things to do. And actually one of the interesting things that he said to me is that you can change. For me, it was really hard to hear that, because I had been told so many times that I could never change. I was actually told that you always be like this. You know, so it was really, it gave me a lot of hope.
It's like someone believed in you.
Yes, someone believed in me, and it gave me hope to see a different light in life. So I started putting the advice to practice, you know, whatever he would say, you need to do this or do that. And even with my family, changing my attitude and the way I viewed my mom, you know, I had to look at her with respect. And, you know, just simple things that I was doing, and I saw that my mind started changing, my mentality started changing bit by bit. And I mean, the anger was still there, because I was thinking, like, how do I get rid of something so deeply rooted? Like, how I don't want to be angry, but the pain was just so strong that I couldn't I couldn't just wake up and say, oh yeah, it's all good now.
This person who took advantage of you and who sexually abused you, before you came to the church, how did you feel towards that person?
I didn't really speak to them anymore. I mean, I just kind of resented them. Like, we were close at first. After that, they became like a stranger to me.
Did you hate that person?
I don't think I hated him, and I didn't hate the person, but I just didn't feel anything towards.
So when you came to the
them.
church, you learned about faith. You learned, someone said you can change, right? It's not, at the beginning of the program we said that, you know, if someone tries to impose a change on you to be a certain way, that can be in a way a form of abuse. It's not like anyone was trying to impose a change on you. They were motivating you to believe that you could be a different person. You could let go of that resentment and that anger. Yeah. Tell me something, how long have you been attending the church?
For about 7 years now.
7 years, right?
Yeah.
So in those 7 years, how has your life changed and how are you today?
Well, it's changed a lot. I mean, within a couple of months after, you know, working with myself, I was able to forgive my family. I was able to forgive my mom. In fact, I sat her down one day and literally just poured out everything that I used to feel against her, why I behave in certain ways towards her sometimes, because she didn't understand why I would behave, and I explained to her why. And, you know, it gave her a better understanding of everything. I think she always saw me as, oh, you're just misbehaving. But when I told her and I explained to her in detail, I think she was able to understand a lot more of what happened. So my relationship with my mom also changed. You know, we talk, we get along now. She's like a mother and daughter rather than just, you know, two people in the same house.
And what about the depression?
And then, no, I'm not depressed anymore. I'm very happy. I have peace, you know. It's like I'm working towards achieving many things in my life. Like at the moment, I've just started my business in interior design.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I'm just working towards that, and I'm also doing a degree at uni. So
in other words, I mean, whatever you said, you had a lot of plans when you were 16, a lot of goals, but that pregnancy that then never happened, you thought it was going to put a stop to those plans. You became very depressed. And maybe you say, oh, Pastor James, I was 16 when I got pregnant and I have a child and it didn't stop any of my plans. I know that, but it doesn't make things any easier, right? It doesn't make it easier, it makes it harder. And it was an unplanned thing for you at that time, right? But in your life didn't take 7 years to change. It changed in those first few months. You let go of that hurt, that abuse, whatever happened to you, and you healed that pain. But in the 7 years, you've been building yourself into this young woman who knows what she wants, has goals. And have you achieved everything you want, or you still have a lot more to achieve?
No, I have a lot more to achieve. I mean, it's just started. I mean, I've got so many plans right now. I've got so many business proposals that I'm in the middle of also putting into place. So I have a lot of things.
And you don't have the appearance of someone who is depressed. You have the appearance of someone who's very happy.
Oh, that's good.
So it's great to be here. And you're going to be with us in the prayer, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now I said to you before the break, we would be showing you what the people of London have to say about the topic of being the same. But you know, your story is so amazing, Patricia, that we don't have enough time to show you the street questions today. Not the end of the world, don't worry. What matters, like I said, this program is about the guests, it's about you. You make this program. If you weren't here, there wouldn't be a Finding Answers, because you found answers to your problems, and you that are watching me, you can as well, okay? I'm gonna go into a short break. When I come back, one of our pastors, Pastor Roland, will be here with us to read the mail of the day and to give advice to this person as well, and he will also be joining us for the prayer. We'll be right back.
Click on to uckg.org for all the latest happenings at the UCKG Help Centre. It's dynamic, interesting and full of content that will add to your daily life. Keep up to date with all the latest info and events up and down the country at a UCKG closest to you. There's something for everyone and you're invited. Check out what we've done previously and update your calendar with what's coming up next. Ladies, especially for you, presenters and authors Nanda Becerra, Esther Becerra, Chris Cardoso and Viviane Freitas share with you advice on becoming a better woman. Read their top tips on health, beauty, love and well-being, all aimed at helping you become the woman you were created to be. And if you're looking for food for the soul and personal development, then check out messages from world-renowned spiritual leader Bishop Macedo, as well as character-building blogs from Bishops Renato and Celso Jr. It's spiritual intelligence for your life. And for all you young guys and girls, why not check out our section dedicated to youth? Real talk, real advice, and a whole lot of fun. Catch cool clips of their shows and listen to the catchiest VYG record track. Want some inspiration? Watch our live transformational videos, recent programs, plus all the promos and coverage of some of our best shows and events.
Hello, very good evening to all of you. This is Finding Answers.
Finding us is easy. Wherever you are in the UK, find the UCKG nearest to you at a click of a button. uckg.org. All you need at your fingertips.
Welcome back. I want to welcome Pastor Roland to the program. How are you, Pastor Roland?
I'm fine, James.
Please, do you have the mail of the day that you read to us and advise that person, perhaps?
Good evening to all. Candice said, how can I change my attitude and personality? I have lost many friendships because of my personality. I want to change that. I am a really bubbly, loud person most of the time, but I can be very rude at times. I am aware that I am like this, but I don't know why I act in this manner. I want to change. Growing up, it was just my mom and I, because my dad left while I was still a baby. Many people have said to me that my mom spoiled me, and I think that that is how it all started. Today, my love life, my academic life, and now even my financial life have all been affected by this. I was recently sacked from my job due to my attitude. What can I do to change this? Please help. I think that a good sign is that you already recognized your mistake. But it's going to be needed more than just words for you to change. You should discover the value of the word no. Especially saying no to yourself, to bad attitudes that you already know that you have. Even though you may say that old habits die hard, a person may do something to fight against these bad attitudes. In the case of Candice, James, she already knows what she needs to do.
Yeah.
She knows it. So she has to act against it, not continue doing wrong.
And the good news is that you don't have to change your personality. Personality is one thing, and having a habit that hurts people is something else. For example, she said she's very bubbly. That's a good thing. For example, I'm very happy, but I'm not necessarily a bubbly person. And that's a great quality. Now, if you have a habit of offending people when you speak, that has nothing to do with being bubbly. And you can cut off that bad habit. It's difficult, but it can be done.
Yes, absolutely. And one more thing that I think that's important for you, Candice, is to stop giving too much ears to what others may say about you. She said that some others told her that her mother may spoil her. But the fact is, you have to believe in yourself. You have to do according to what you know. And instead of being molded by the words and the opinions of some other people, you should believe more in yourself and in God, in the Word of God. Because that is how you can recreate yourself, right?
And you see, if you happen to lose your job because of the fact that you end up being rude, then it is something that you definitely need to change. You need to get rid of that, okay? And that has nothing to do with your personality. You don't have to change your personality. Your personality is who you are. But make sure that if, we are, I usually give the example that we are like ongoing works of art that are constantly being shaped and molded to get better, right? So you getting rid of this habit is you doing exactly that. Okay, and I'm sure that you'll be all the better for it. You'll get a lot of benefits out of doing that. Now, I want to invite you to take part of the prayer that we are going to make. I've noticed, not just from Patricia's story, but from other stories we've had here, that there are a lot of people who struggle with abuse, with depression, with keeping things inside, because although we are, for example, London is a city that has, I think, close to 8 million people, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of people. But sometimes the more people are in a place, the less sense of community there is. I'm not saying this is the problem with London, but that tends to be the problem in large metropolis, for example. Maybe you feel alone, you feel down, you feel you can't tell your problems to anyone, nobody listens to you, like we said earlier. I want to make a prayer for you to take these few moments, for you to talk to God and ask Him for help. You can tell Him your problems. And sometimes telling your problems to someone who can actually help, that can make a huge difference. And that's what I want to invite you to do. I have here, Pastor Roland, you have your water there with you, right? You're going to be doing the prayer together with us. And we're going to ask God to touch your life, to lift whatever burden is there on your shoulders. Let's prepare to talk to God.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer for your general well-being, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
Our Lord and our Father, we come before you, my Lord, with this request. And I ask you to hear the voice of this person that now is praying. We here from the studio can't hear the voice of this person. We can't. But you can, my God. You can hear and you can see what's going on in the life of this person. Actually, if this person is even in tears, you are there to wipe these tears away. My God, make something happen here today. Because when someone believes in you, my God, a change must be visible. And we believe. So let your power touch all those who are praying with us, so that this person may have strength to be different and be uplifted by your power here today.
In the name of the Lord Jesus, my God. And even if nobody has been listening to this person, or if this person feels that they haven't been heard, that right now, my Lord, your hand may lift this person from their problems, from their struggle, no matter how difficult their situation is, no matter how deep-rooted they are into that situation, into that problem, my Lord, lift them up. Lift them up and answer their prayer. My dear friend, take this moment now, these few seconds to talk to God, yourself, there where you are, and make an effort to explain to Him how you feel, what you're going through, what the pain is. You that feel like Patricia used to feel, with these emotions bottled up inside of you, about to explode, tell Him. Because not only is He going to listen, but He's going to answer you. My Lord, answer the prayer, the cry for help that this person lifts up to you right now. Because maybe you are the only one that they have to talk to put their problems out in the open and ask for help. So I bless this person now, and I determine that as a result of this prayer, they will see a change of direction in their life. Consecrate this water with your presence, and when this person drinks of it, let them receive the strength to cut off the bad habits from their life, the things that have been negative in their life. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. You may now drink of this water there where you are. Before we go, I just want to invite you to do something. You heard us earlier speaking about the campaign of faith of the Temple of Solomon, which we are calling, and not just calling, but it is indeed the greatest of all campaigns. If you would like more information about the campaign of all campaigns, the campaign of the Temple of Solomon, then send us an email and we'll be explaining more to you. The email address is help@findinganswers.tv. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful night. May God bless you.